April Ratchford could not find a podcast to help her autistic son. So she built Adulting with Autism. In its first year, it passed 2.7 million downloads and now ranks in the top 2% worldwide. She learned on the fly, down to figuring out that she was supposed to edit her episodes. She shares how she grew so fast and the niche mistakes new hosts make. Then the plan to monetize an audience that big. But before we dive in, if you're getting value from this show and the other episodes in Podcasting Secrets, the best way to say thank you and to support it is to leave a quick rating and review. It takes maybe 30 seconds, helps other creators to discover these conversations. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Podcasting Secrets Show, where successful creators share their best stories, secrets, and strategies. I'm your host, Nathan Gwilliam.
Hello, incurable creators, and welcome to this episode of Podcasting Secrets, where today I'm joined by April Ratchford. April is the founder of Adulting with Autism and host of a top 2% globally ranked podcast. She achieved more than 2.7 million downloads within her first year. She's an occupational therapist and a parent. April brings powerful lived experience to help autistic adults and their families navigate life after 21 with clarity, support, and real-world guidance. Thank you so much for being with us today, April.
Thank you for inviting me.
April, can you start off by sharing with us something that most people don't know about you?
I'm a Star Wars geek.
Me too. I love Star Wars. Hold on. I got to show you this. Stepping away from the camera. Probably a big faux pas, but look what I am about to hang in my office.
Oh, I'm a little jelly.
Yes, I made this with my older daughter. So that is the best of all Star Wars ships, the X-Wing.
I just have a tattoo sleeve of the Empire Strikes Back.
There you go. Okay, April, can you tell us about your story, your journey, your connection with this topic of adulting with autism that your show is about?
So when my son came out of high school, it was during COVID, and he really wanted to go to college. But then I looked at him, I said, dude, you're not ready. I'm still washing your clothes. And I noticed that the only thing we received after high school was a little piece of paper that said vocational rehab. I was like, well, that's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. So in the year he graduated, I kept him out till summer, and I taught him how to wash his own clothes and use an alarm and all these things. I think he was going to be ready. He went to a state school and bombed terribly. We got our meds mixed up. He was just miserable. He failed out of his classes. And I sent him to this school because they had an OT school. So I thought, how bad could this be? This was terrible. So when he finally came home, he was depressed. And I was trying to find podcasts for autistic young adults to help him navigate. And there were none. There were no occupational therapists doing anything. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this kid? And
that's a great opportunity, right? When you need something and there's nothing that fills the spot. Great entrepreneurial opportunity.
Well, I didn't see myself as an entrepreneur because I didn't pay attention to that in school. I probably should have, but when I didn't see anything for parents either, I was like, oh man, there should be something. And so my fiance at the time threw a mic at me and said, start a podcast. I was like, I don't know anything about starting a podcast. He said, I got a mic. That's all you need. That's all you need. And so Adulting with Autism was born.
Yeah. Interesting. Tell me about that first episode you recorded and that first month of episodes. How long did it take you to get that first episode live, and what challenges did you face?
So I didn't realize that solo episodes were harder than
Yeah.
I could do. And I was like, oh man. And then I was like, this sucks. So, because I'm not a speaker. And I was like, well, where did people get their guests? Like, how does this work? And I ran into a site called Podmatch and started getting guests. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I was doing this on Zoom. And lo and behold, I didn't know you should edit your episodes. I would just splash them up there. I was like, well, I guess I should edit. I should learn how to edit. And I went through several programs. That first month, I had random people on. I was like, this sounds good and this sounds good. And then I would listen to podcasters and they were like, you have to hone into a niche. I was like, well, how much niche is this? How narrow do you get this? But as I trembled along, then I learned. I was like, okay, you just can't have everybody on. You got to figure out what this podcast is really going to be about. And I trucked along and trucked along. Episodes got better. I learned how to edit. I got a better mic. And off we go. I'm 274 episodes in. I started out one episode a week because that's all my brain could give. And then it just tumbled. Like, it was such a topic that everybody wanted to listen to. I eventually did 2 episodes. And then that wasn't enough. So now I'm up to 3 episodes a week.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. And I still work full time. And I'm like, man.
All right. So I've got to know how in that first year you were able to get 2.7 million downloads. How did you go from not even knowing you had to edit an episode to 2.7 million downloads? Because that does not happen very often.
So, you just wrangle in and you're like, people just pop in and say, hey, I can help you get downloads. And I was like, how much is this going to cost? Because I ain't no $10,000 kind of show. But freelancers kind of helped because they take that off there. But you got to be careful because you don't know if they're really getting you the episodes or your bots. And then you're stuck.
Are they real people or are they something that's worthless? Yeah. So what did you find of those 2.7 million? How many do you think were real and how many do you think were not?
I think at least 50% were real because as soon as I started trekking up, more and more guests started hitting my email.
Yeah,
and not
that's
even
right.
Podmatch. And, I would tell other occupational therapists, my son would tell other people, and autism is a small community, but we do word of mouth really well.
Yeah. Okay. So you invested in marketing. That's great. There's a lot of podcasters out there who think that it's somehow virtuous to only grow organically, right? And I love that you were willing to invest in your growth, right? There's so many great podcasts that had a great message, right? These hosts that had something really important for the world to say, but no one ever found them. And it's equally important, just like you're creating great content, to be able to create a following and create a reach. And now you've found some traction, right? You've now got an audience and tell me about that. Now, how has it transformed your podcast that you did acquire an audience and a following?
So it was really weird because I was getting these people that were authentic in the autism community, like Dr. Robert Melillo, who created the Brain Balance Centers. And I was like, oh my God, he's coming on my podcast. And then you start getting these professionals that are autism specific. And then it just kind of filters from there. Then you know what you like to have on your channel and what you don't. And my son at the time, he was a big factor. So, because he's in his mid 20s. So I would kind of gear it toward, well, what does he need to hear as a podcast? And what did I wish I knew as an autistic occupational therapist when I was in my 20s to kind of guide me along? And people just seem to just fall into my inbox. And that was how that worked.
I love it. Okay, so have you transformed this into a business? Is this provide all of your livelihood now?
Dear Lord, I wish. But people think that like the first year you get that novelty and you're like, I'm going to make a lot of money and retire. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. And I was like, where's my money? It's like, how does this work?
So how do you monetize currently?
So right now I am on Lisbon and I do ads on Lisbon, which are programmatic. But if people are like, that's going to make you money, that's not going to make you money.
It's really hard to make enough money off of ads to cover the expenses. I agree. It's an okay thing to do, and it can add some extra money, but that cannot be the core of your monetization strategy. Okay, so that's one good strategy. What else are you doing?
And then I said, people need a store because young adults don't want rainbows and unicorns on their shirts. They're too old for that. That's great for little kids. So I created a merch shop that had like very forward thinking statements that they could put on their shirts, like autistic, authentic, and
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So then I did that. And then
did that make any money for you?
A little bit. But then I was like, oh, should I do affiliate? People were sending me affiliates.
There you go.
And then I was like, this is a lot of work I'm working like full time. And I was like, okay. We got to fix all of this and figure out what we're going to do.
So what'd you do?
So this is my year 2. And now I've honed it down to who I have on my podcast that's autism specific for them, for my audience. And what my plan is within the next 6 months is become a speaker and go all over the world. Like people think that money just falls into your lap. It really doesn't. And it's a hard lesson to learn when you know nothing about podcasting. I was like, ugh.
Okay, can I give you some of the ideas of how you might be able to monetize? Okay, so when I did my first show and I published every day for a year, and that sucked. That was awful. You think 3 times a week is bad. I did 7 days a week, and that sucked. But my show was about digital monetization. So that's my specialty, is helping people take these digital platforms and make money off of them. So in your specific situation, and I have a little ebook. You can go to my website. You could download. There's a 24 different monetization strategies for podcasters. But the ones that I think would be best for you, number one is I think you should do a course. Okay, like you put your son through a course and you taught him for that year. You held him back. Not all moms are great teachers like you, and not all moms know what to teach their kids, and not all kids will listen to what their moms have to say. And so what if you developed a year-long course that taught kids how to adult with autism, and you taught them how to use an alarm clock. You taught them how to use a bank account. You taught them, all of these lessons they need to know. And you have that course. And maybe they do it together with the parents. Maybe there's homework assignments for the parents and homework assignments for the kids. And the parents are buying it for their kids because the parents want to help their kids adult, right? I think you could make a lot of money for that course. I think you could sell $1,000 course and charge $1,000 for that. And I think a lot of people would buy that course for that. Okay, so that's number. What do you think? Do you think that's too much?
I guess I could. I don't see myself as a teacher because when I did it with my kid, it just came natural. I'm like, hey, do you want?
Yeah.
You have like $1 million dreams and Taco Bell work ethic. So
yeah.
Fix this.
I think you're exactly the voice that the community needs for that message. And I think you would do a phenomenal job. Now, you might need an instructional designer to help you put together the course. You might need like a writer that can help you put together, the courses and the presentations and then give you the talking points and then you go give the lessons. But I think if you put together like 52 lessons, right? If you had 52 concepts that you taught and they each had a homework assignment, you did them every day for a year, right? And 52 things they need to know to be ready to adult. I think that'd be very valuable. And I think a lot of parents would pay for that. Okay. So that's number one. And there are teams of people, including my team, that will help you do that. You can come bring your knowledge and experience and they will help you create the outline. They'll help you develop the courses. They will help you create the presentations. You give them, then they'll edit the presentations and put them online in a course format and help you build the funnel to sell that as well. So there are people that can help you. You don't have to know how to do all the pieces. Okay. So, and we have a team that does that. Okay. Number 2 idea that I think would really work well in your niche is I think you should do a summit. I think you should do an Adulting with Autism summit. And you give away free memberships and then you have VIP memberships. And I think you sell your course from the summit. I think you sell upgraded VIP tickets. I think you sell a membership that we're going to talk about in a minute. But I think there's a lot of parents that would attend a summit with their kid. And I think you can invite lots of fun speakers and you could teach lots of fun concepts, right? You would teach it, you get a financial advisor to come in and teach about doing a bank account. And you just bring in all of these experts that are teaching this concept in like a 3-day virtual summit. Okay. So that's number 2 that I think you could do really well. That would work really well with your niche. Number 3 is I think you should do a membership site. And I think the membership site would work together with your course. And I think the membership site is something where they can have group coaching. They can have like behind the scenes interviews and live streams. They can have monthly challenges of things. They can have a community where they're supporting each other. And I think they would pay you a monthly fee, somewhere between $50 and $100, somewhere in there. You probably could get from your community. Imagine if you could get 1,000 people in there paying you $50 to $100 a month, right? How would that change your life to have that recurring revenue coming in? That membership site is probably the holy grail of your business because of the recurring revenue that it would provide. And then another one that I think would work really well for your audience would be coaching. I think you could sell coaching packages. Now, you might want to bundle coaching with your membership, and you might you might charge more for your membership, and maybe they get like a monthly coaching session and a monthly accountability session. Did you know people that set goals, only about 10% of the people realize those goals. People that set goals and have an accountability partner that they're responsible to every month, more than 90% of those people hit their goals. People are more than 9 times more likely to reach their goals if they have an accountability partner. So you could set this up where parents could hire you to be the adulting coach for their kids. And what you did for your son, they would hire you to do that for them and help them, coach them as parents and coach their kids in this process, this year-long process to adult. And maybe they pay $1,000 for this course, but they could pay an upgrade And for the upgrade, they could get a one-on-one meeting with you every single month, and with a parent, with a child. Maybe it's time with each of them. I don't know how you do it. There would be some one-on-one time, some goal setting, some accountability where you made sure they did what they said, homework assignments, action items, monthly, like, goals that everybody's working on together. And then group coaching, where everybody that you're coaching comes together in this. I think it's a market where there's a lot of need for this. And there's a lot of parents that would pay to help their kids to be ready to adult. Anyways, that's just a few ideas. There's a bunch more, but there are a ton of ways you can monetize. And instead of trying to sell ads and promote someone else's product, build your own product, build your own recurring revenue stream, right? I think you could build $1 million a year business off of this adulting with autism, because those parents want their kids to be able to adult. They don't want those kids to be dependent upon them the rest of their life. So those parents will pay to help make sure that that happens.
Today's episode of Podcasting Secrets is brought to you by Pod Allies, the done-for-you podcasting services solution. When I speak with CEOs about their podcast, one of the most common comments that I hear is that they know they need a podcast, but they don't have time. Have you ever wondered how some businesses find a way to still run their podcasts while juggling their crazy day-to-day operations? The secret might be simpler than you think. Let me introduce you to Pod Allies. This is a service that's changed the game for businesses in the podcasting world. Pod Allies is a done-for-you podcast production and marketing service. They understand that while many businesses understand the immense value podcasting can have for their business, finding time to produce, syndicate, promote, and monetize a show can be challenging. Pod Allies offers a dedicated team to handle virtually all aspects of your podcast production. From strategy and branding to audio and video editing and guest scheduling, they've got you covered. They even take care of creating blog posts, transcripts, and syndicating your content across multiple platforms. What sets Pod Allies apart is their use of PodUp, their proprietary podcasting software suite. This allows them to streamline the entire podcasting process, saving you time, effort, and a bunch of money. If you're ready to become a thought leader, connect with your audience, and grow your business through podcasting without all of the investment of time and cost of doing it yourself, Pod Allies might be the perfect solution for you. To learn more or to schedule a free consultation with a podcast expert, visit podallies.com. That's podallies.com. Now back to the show.
I think I could do that. I mean, I have a sibling who's also an OT, and we thought to do memberships with like a weekly insight with 2 OTs, because we're doing this for free.
Yeah. You've got this reach. You got the audience. You're leaving money on the table. Now it's just time to monetize it, right? Keep doing your reach and now turn it into a business. Turn it into $1 million a year business. Right? And if there's some of those things you're not comfortable doing, get someone to help you, right? You don't have to do it all yourself.
So if I did a course, like how many people would you need to create a course?
Like how many students would you have to sell it to?
Well, like if you, like what goes into helping you create the course where you're not just randomly talking about 9,000 different things?
Yeah. So we have an instructional designer, a copywriter who does that for people. And it's part of our Pod Allies team. And she's amazing. She's my daughter. I'm a little bit biased, but she's my oldest daughter. And so she goes into people with people that have knowledge and expertise like you. And the first thing she does is she builds the table of contents. She says, okay, how long is it going to be? Maybe you're only going to do it over 4 months. Maybe you're only going to do it over 6 months, right? Maybe you do it for a year, right? You pick how long it's going to be. You give your ideas to that person and do a data dump. You do a kickoff. Then that copywriter will go and do the research and develop the table of contents. And then she'll meet with you again. And you'll basically decide, okay, how many lessons are we going to do? What topics are we going to cover? And then you guys go back and forth and you finalize what that's going to be. And then once it's finalized, then she meets with you on each of these individual topics. And you just do a data dump and you say, okay, we're going to learn how to, whatever, do a budget. and then you cover what you want to cover and the ideas you have. And then she goes back and she does the research. She develops the outline, develops the content. You review it, you sign off on it. Once you sign off on it, then you turn it into a presentation, right? And then she gives you a presentation. And then you use the presentation and you record a video teaching that lesson. And then you hand that back to our team, and then we edit it. We do the blog posts, we do the homework assignments, maybe workbook pages, and then we put it up there as lesson number 1 in a course. And then you just go through and you do that for each of your lessons. And then pretty soon you have an evergreen course you can sell. You don't have to keep teaching it over and over again. It's just there, and you can run it for the next 5 years or 10 years. You can keep selling that. And the cool thing about selling $1,000 product that's a digital product is you have almost no cost of goods sold, right? You don't have to buy a physical product. So even if you have to run ads and it costs you $300 to buy, to get a customer, it's okay, because you make $1,000 off of it, right?
Right.
Or you make the $700 of profit and you didn't have any cost. So it makes it really easy for you to pay a good amount of money to go acquire the customers. And so if you can acquire customers for $300 or less, you could do that all day long and sell $1,000 product, right?
Right. Wheels are turning.
Yeah. And that's just one idea. There are so many different directions you could go with this, because you have someone that has money that is willing to pay. You have that parent, right, that is willing to pay for the child so that the child is ready to adult on their own and they're not dependent the rest of their lives. You have a very motivated purchaser.
Now, how would you get the product out there? Like, do you just go to random advertisers?
I would go create a sales funnel. So a sales funnel is like a landing page that is optimized to convert. So you need someone that knows how to do sales funnels. Get someone to help you do it. It's just a one page sales funnel, and then you go through this process, and you may have some upsells and downsells and things. So get someone to help you build a sales funnel, and then you go buy ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, and you send them in there, YouTube ads, and you see what it costs you to buy a user. And you test different ads, you test different variations of the funnel, different headlines and such. And you just find where you can, like, if you had a money machine, right? If there's a money machine, and for every dollar you put in that money machine, you got $3 out. How much money would you put in the money machine?
A lot of money.
Yeah,
Right.
you put everything in the money machine, and then when it came out, you'd probably put it all back in the money machine and get it to triple it for you again. So that's what you're trying to build with that funnel. If you put $300 in to buy a user and you get $1,000 out, how much money are you going to put into that funnel?
You're going to put everything you have into that funnel.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what you're trying to build. You're trying to build a money machine for you where you don't have an ad budget. You just buy all the ads you can at a good price, right? You buy all the sales and conversions you can. So that's probably going to be your most effective way. Then I would do affiliate marketing. So I would go out to all of the other people in that space, in the adulting, with autism, and I would invite them to promote your course for you. And I would give them a certain amount of money, like give them $250 for each person that they refer to you that signs up, and get them to promote it to their audiences. And then I would do the summit, and I get thousands of people to come to your summit, and I would promote your course from the summit. And then I would have a podcast like you've got now, and I would promote that course on every single episode of my podcast. And all the other types of content that you promote, your YouTube videos and your social content and all of that. I would heavily promote your course through your content.
You make this sound so easy. I'm like, why doesn't anyone know how to just do this?
It does take work, and it does take effort, and building a course is not easy, right? It takes time, it takes effort, but it's very doable. And you've proven you're a doer. You've gotten through this show, you're in year 2 of your show. You've had 2.7 million, downloads of your episode. Like, you've shown you can do hard things.
Yeah, that's true. I can do hard things.
Yeah. So that's probably not the direction we both thought this episode was going to go. But the reason why I went that direction is I want to give you hope. You've done the hard part. You've built the audience. Now it's time to cash in on it, right? Go figure out how you're going to monetize this. And there's lots of good ways you can monetize this.
Yeah. I'm excited now.
You've got this, April. You can totally do this.
Yeah, I can totally do this.
There's a great book if you want to learn how to launch a course. My favorite book I've ever read on that is by Jeff Walker, and it's called Launch. And it takes you step by step how to launch a course.
Ooh. Yeah, see, I'm great at taking things that have like almost like a step by step and filling in the blanks. That's just how my mind works. So that would be perfect for me.
Okay. In your journey so far to be a podcaster, what is one of the most challenging things you've been through other than monetization? What's one of the other challenging things you've gotten through, and how'd you get through it?
It's actually equipment, because you don't realize how important equipment is. And that stuff can be expensive, because I had a P and I was like, oh, this is not great. And then I finally put the money into a Mac. I was like, oh my God, this is so much better. And then you have to have a quality mic. And then you have to learn how to edit, what you like, what you don't like. You listen to the sound, where music goes, if the music is great. There's like all these fine details to make your episodes sound really great that people don't realize.
Yeah, that's right. What mic did you decide that you like the best?
So right now I have a fine mic, but I bought a wireless mic, one of the Rios. I think that's what it's called, or Roto, one of the things, just because I stand when I do my podcast. It's just a thing I do.
Me too. I'm standing too. Yep.
So I
have more energy when I stand. I have more movement, and it just works better for me.
So I can't sit in podcasts. I'm one that has to just stand and rock and do all the things. So now I have to figure out how to make it work with Riverside. And I'm like, why are you not picking up this sound? So it's always a learning curve.
Because you're moving away from the microphone. So, So the solution, I think, to that is headphones that have a really good microphone that come off of it. So when you move your head, your microphone is coming with you. There's a really good Audio Technica mic that's out there that's got a great, it's headphones that have a really good mic on it, and that might solve that problem.
I might have to use that, because I just hate sitting.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I cannot even think of the last time I sat when I recorded an episode. So you have a standing desk, one that goes up and down?
Not yet. What you do is you find what's in your house and you make it work. That's how we OTs think.
Yeah.
But my next purchase is going to be a standing desk. And probably
they're not that expensive. You can see, like, I've got this one's a standing desk, and the one I'm on matches this one. And you just push a button and it goes up and down. Not that I ever put it down. I always put it up, but it's a good solution for that. I just found them on Amazon.
And I figured out that because we put in new wood flooring. So I'm like, what can I put in here to absorb the sound so it doesn't echo?
Yep.
So
Do you want to know what we figured out there, or what did you figure out
So I
first?
asked my friend ChatGPT, I'm like, what can I do about this echo? And they have on Amazon these hexagon type things to go on the wall to absorb some of that sound.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I guess I'll purchase that. And I also thought about putting like a rug down just
Yep.
because it's better.
And and you're right. You do need the rug too. I used to podcast on one where I had the hardwood floors, and it was so much echo. And I put the foam up on the walls, and then I bought a rug. I found this place called Ruggable. If you go to ruggable.com, now what makes their rugs so cool is they're thinner, so your chair can still be on it. Okay, it doesn't have the problem if you have a chair or whatever. Not that that's an issue for you or me. And they're washable. You can take those rugs and you can just go throw them in the washing machine when they get dirty and nasty and gross, and wash them, washer and dryer, and then put them back out to dry. So ruggable.com is what I found worked really well.
That's awesome. Because I was like, well, if I get this rug and then I got to shampoo it and do all the things I don't love, then I have cats. So,
yep, that's right. That has to be washable.
yes.
Okay. Well, April, if my audience has enjoyed this show like I have, and they want to learn more about you and your show, what you're doing with your work, what are the best ways for them to do that?
So I'm so smart. I created a website finally. And adultingwithautism.com.
Nice. Great domain name.
Right. And it's the only one. So it's got all my socials on there. It's got my merch shop on there. Who we're about. If you've got some people in the audience that like want to invite me somewhere to speak. And then eventually, because in a year, I picked up so many resources, I'll get a resource page. So all my guests that have books, I'll list because I have most of those books and they're exceptional.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for the value added. Thanks for the great conversation. And I wish you success as you work to monetize this amazing podcast that you've built.
Well, thank you for having me and giving me some ideas.
And here are my key takeaways from this episode. Number 1, build a show your niche is missing. An unmet need gives you a mission and a real opening. Number 2, pay to grow reach, but vet the sellers first. Some deliver bots, not real listeners. Number 3, narrow your niche until it's clear who it serves. A tight focus pulls the right audience. Number 4, book one respected guest. A credible name helps draw the next until guests come to you. Number 5, start at a pace you can hold, like once a week. Then add episodes as demand grows and your time allows. Number 6, own your product, not ad income. Ad revenue rarely covers a small show. Number 7, record a $1,000 course once. Sell it for years. Each sale is mostly profit. Number 8, add a paid membership with coaching. Monthly fees are steadier than one-time sales. Number 9, set up one funnel and test ads against it. Double down on what pays. And finally, number 10, hire help for the parts you cannot do or that you don't enjoy doing. The course and funnel need not be solo work. Did you love this episode? Then please leave a rating, follow, like, share, and subscribe to help other creators discover the show. And I invite you to grab your free copy of the 101 Podcasting Secrets Guide by signing up for the newsletter at podcastingsecrets.com. If you know you need a podcast, but you don't have time, please visit podallies.com. That's podallies.com. That's our done for you podcasting creation, growth, and monetization agency. You record, and we do about 40 different services for you. Thanks for listening. Let's turn your passion into profit.